You think you've played Kingdom Come Deliverance 2? Wait until you live it. I just stepped into 15th century Bohemia using the Pimax Super with full VR support from the Lucross mod, and it blew my mind. So today we're diving into one of the most insane VR experiences that I've ever had. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, fully playable in virtual reality using the Luke Ross Real Mod on the ultra high-end Pimax Super headset. And if you've ever dreamed of actually walking the muddy roads of medieval Europe, sword in hand, hearing the clash of steel and the whispers of conspiracies in dark taverns, then this is it. Now, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 already pushes realism to the max with historically accurate settings, grounded combats, and incredible storytelling. But in VR, it's a whole new level. And with the Luke Ross Real Mod, you're not just playing, you're inside the world with every cobblestone, every candlelit room, every peasant muttering under their breath feels personal, and when you're inside using the Pimax Super, it's like you're actually there. So thank you to Pimax for sponsoring this video and for providing all next level sim gaming subscribers even more incredible offers. Now, if you already have a VR headset, you can trade in your VR headset and get a huge discount off the Pimax Super or the Pimax Crystal Light. And even better, you don't even have to send in your existing headset to Pimax. Use the link in the video description and this will take you straight to the Pimax site where you can simply submit your current VR headset information and Pimax will review your submission, normally within 2 working days, and get back to you with a unique discount code. The only thing you need to provide is proof of purchase, and that's it. And if that's not enough to reward your loyalty as a Next Level Sim Gaming subscriber, you can also use the code NLSimGaming_gift, and Pimax will also include a bonus gift such as DMAS headphones, top strap or facial foam. Now let's check out Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 on the incredible Pimax Super. So we begin this amazing experience by showing you the actual view that I hope you can appreciate, because let me tell you that I played a lot of VR titles and this is a AAA title. It has a very positive rating on Steam. It is, in my view, one of the games of the year on PC gaming in general. And this goes to show that really, why do we not have an option in all games to simply make them VR? What Luke Ross has done is made that impossible possible. This is a AAA title, this is Kingdom Come Deliverance, and my god, this is just absolutely outstanding. It's absolutely beautiful, it really is. Now of course it's very difficult for you to appreciate the detail that I'm seeing in this game, and I've made a couple of pledges in a previous video that you may have seen or may not have seen. It's a Half-Life Alex video that is really a celebration really of the 2025 pinnacle of VR technology that we are at the moment. Now, as I sit down here just essentially talking about how amazing this is next to this cow, it really is an interactive masterpiece. This game, even on flat screen, is absolutely amazing, but I've never seen in any VR title such amazing depth of field as what I'm seeing in this game now. It is literally just like being stood in the English countryside, it really is. Now,
you're probably going to say, okay, we can see that the game looks good, but it's not going to look that good through the actual VR lens, through the actual lens of this Pimax Super. So what I'm going to do on screen as well, as I promised in the previous video, is I'm going to actually put in the top corner just here, not this particular section of the game, but I'm going to put a through the lens shot on the actual Pimax Super itself, and as you can see, it's far better through the lens than what you're seeing on screen. The colours are just absolutely popping, they look absolutely amazing, and this is just absolutely stunning, and I'm just blown away by the horizon. It just goes on and on and on, and I can see the detail in the distance is just absolutely incredible. Even the rays of sun just coming through the trees there, I feel like I could actually reach out and grasp the grass in front of me just here, and the castle obviously in the distance there, and the tree. Everything is just absolutely stunning, even the lighting effects as well. It really makes you appreciate where we have come to, not only in VR gaming but in actual PC gaming. Now, if you're not familiar with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, I've never played the original. I will put my hands up and confess I've never played the original Kingdom Come Deliverance, but I've really enjoyed playing this game so far in flat screen, and I've been absolutely blown away by it in VR, to a point where I actually prefer it in VR than on flat screen. It just adds such immersion, and it's just amazing. So this is using the DLSS4 transformer model, and we are getting a FPS. There's a FPS meter just in the top left hand corner of my peripheral view here, but you probably won't be able to see that on screen, so I'm just going to press the space bar here, and we're getting around 80 plus FPS. You may or may not be able to see that in the actual Lucross VR overlay tool in front of me just here. I don't know if you can or not, but we are getting around 80 FPS. Now, what's going to surprise you even more is that this game is running on ultra settings. I've literally maxed it out and I put everything on ultra. God bless you as well, my dear, because thank you so much for this amazing experience. Absolutely amazing, isn't it, Piggy? So this is obviously just running around and checking out the game, but of course there's a lot more involvement in the actual game itself. There's interactivity, there's tasks to complete, there's missions to complete, there are things to do, and of course it's very Skyrim-esque. But what I do love about this game is it has a really nice quirky sense of humour that, in my view, makes this far better than Skyrim. Skyrim in VR is something that I have enjoyed. I'll be careful not to stand in the horse poop just there, but Skyrim in VR is an incredible experience, but it's nothing on this. Even Skyrim with all the modifications is nothing like what I'm experiencing here. So I'm going to inspect the horse just by pressing Y, and it shows me all the statistics of the horse there, which I never knew I could do. And in fact, we could actually mount and steal the horse, which I don't think is going to be a very good idea, so I'm not going to do that just at this moment in time. But what I am going to do is try and hover around the horse so I can just show you the absolute level of detail that is in this horse's mane just here. It really is absolutely beautiful. Not just the horse, the game itself. It really is that good. It's that good. Now you're probably going to wonder how this works. Well, the real beauty of this is, as shown in the previous Cyberpunk 2077 video. If you haven't seen that, there's a link at the video description just at the end. Sorry sir, I'll just go back into here, and there's a link to that video at the end of this one, so you can obviously see that as well. It's very similar to the Cyberpunk experience, and what Lucross has also done for this particular title, he has also fixed the DLSS aspect of it, which is fantastic in VR now, and also subtitles appear correctly aligned, whereas previously they would be stretched off screen, etc. So it's a highly cinematic driven title this one as well, and I'm trying not to get into any cinematics as we run around, because obviously, of course, they tend to bog things down and we can't see the sheer splendour of the different elements we're looking at here. But the textures and everything just look absolutely amazing, they really do. So of course you're going to wonder how this works and how it is installed, and I'm going to show at the end of this clip, or the end of this gameplay footage, exactly how we get this up and running, because it really is absolutely simple. But everything is interactable. If it's not interactable, of course, it comes up with a message showing you exactly what the issue is, whether if it's picking a lock, you need a lockpick to do that, or whether or not the character wants to talk to you or not. And yeah, it's a masterpiece, it really is. And again, I say this again, it's a testament to how far I believe we have come in gaming in general, not just in PC gaming but in VR in general. We are running super complex PC VR hardware. This is the Pimax Super, obviously it needs no introduction. We have seen a lot of other titles obviously on this now. I've done a number of videos on the Pimax Super, and both this and the Pimax Crystal Light, may I hasten to say, run incredibly well on this game. Now I've played it on both, it runs really well on both, and even on the Pimax Crystal Light it looks equally as stunning as this. But of course the Pimax Super gives you that extra field of view, which just adds to that level of immersion. It has the inbuilt cooling fans, which are really handy obviously in scenarios where it's pretty hot, and the levels of extra visual clarity that the Pimax Super give you obviously need no introduction as well. But it is absolutely breathtaking, guys. It's the only way I can describe it, is breathtaking. And it's a refreshing treat as well, because we've, or me, or maybe even yourself, you know, you've got a Pimax Super or you have a Pimax Crystal Light, and if you don't, then what are you waiting for? Because ultimately these headsets are the pinnacle of PC VR technology. We have these amazing piece of hardware, and of course we're all familiar with Half-Life Alyx, with Automo Ballista 2, with iRacing, to mention but a few of the regular titles that are obviously cropping up in videos, with Microsoft Flight Simulator, etc. But what else can it do? Now what this drag and drop plug-in series of files does to a AAA title and turns it into a fully interactive VR title, that I'll be quite honest with you, there are actually native VR games that don't work as well as this. Luke Ross is constantly evolving and constantly tweaking the modification. For £8 a month, which is what his Patreon page is, it's giving you regular updates. There are a plethora of titles available to use with the same actual UEVR modification. It's the best value for money, I believe, that you could probably get for VR, because if you actually own the flat screen version of these games, you are dragging and dropping that modification into the root folder of the games, and it's turning them into things that you can then play on your Pimax Crystal Light, Pimax Super, or your VR headset. But there's nothing to disappoint with this game in VR whatsoever. Now, as already mentioned, many people have mentioned in numerous videos, and I've responded to this, they're saying, okay, well, you're running high-end hardware, I'm not going to get the same results on my system. Now, bearing in mind that this is running the DLSS 4 transformer model as already stated, if you have an NVIDIA graphics card, you can obviously take advantage of that technology. And of course this is running at ultra settings as already mentioned. I've run it at high settings and it's still a fantastic visual experience. I'm pretty confident that that DLSS 4 transformer model is going to give you the same boost as it's obviously given it in both this and Cyberpunk 2077 as well. Now this game, unlike Cyberpunk 2077, doesn't rely on any modifications. It's just absolutely visually stunning as it is. I've never noticed these little mice running along here just previously as well. It's little things like that. It's just the level of detail in this is just absolutely outstanding. Now, one thing I did notice in some video playback I was reviewing is there's a slight jitter to the left and right screen that you're seeing. Now, that isn't visible in the headset. That's almost like a visual artifact of the actual on-screen display, so I do apologise that this is not looking obviously as good for you obviously on screen as obviously it is for me. So as mentioned, there's that clickable link in the video description, and that will give you all the settings used within the game. It will also give you the PC specifications that I'm using as well, which will obviously assist you in being able to identify any potential tweaks or areas that you may obviously want to add, as well as I chase these chickens along the courtyard. Now also you can see as well that the time of day is obviously changing. It's now becoming distinctively darker, so obviously there are elements in the game where you obviously have to go to sleep, and there's different elements within the game that you obviously play out and do. So without further ado, and this lady's begging for forgiveness that we come to an end just here, but as you can see, it is just stunning. It is an amazing gaming experience. If you like Skyrim, this is something you just have to try. Even if you don't like Skyrim and you just want an amazing game to play, not only in VR, but in flat screen mode as well. Highly recommended, guys. Now, taking a bit of a change of direction in the channel from here on, because many people have obviously said what I've just already mentioned. We want to see different things on the hardware that we have. We have the Pimax Crystalite, we have the Pimax Super, or we have other VR headsets, and we obviously know about these titles that are regularly featured on many of the videos that you see, such as Microsoft Flight Simulator, DCS. Of course, there's always content and things we want to see on those videos, and the creators of those videos do an absolutely amazing job. But for me, it's all about next level hardware, it's all about next level gaming, and of course we want to see some alternative content, and this is a typical example of the direction I really want to try and take things within. And this is not just an idea that I'm creating and providing, this is something that's actually requested quite heavily in the Pimax Discord groups and other users as well, who want to see potentially what the headset can do.
So here's a very quick guide on how to install the Luke Ross Real VR modification and get you into the glorious virtual world of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 in VR. So the first thing we need to do, we need to head to the Real VR Mods by Luke Ross Patreon page, and once we are at that page, we then need to subscribe to the membership. Once we have upgraded, we can then simply click on the home button, and then we can then head to the actual modification itself, and simply by clicking on the Real Mod by Luke Ross, we're currently on version 23.1, we can then simply download that file, as you can see. Now before we leave the Luke Ross page, just to show that this supports a wide range of titles. Now as you can see, there are some absolutely fantastic ones here, and a couple of it I'm planning on doing are Doom the Dark Ages and also The Last of Us as well in future videos. So once we've extracted the contents of a folder, you can see I've extracted them in an uncompressed format into a new folder on the desktop just here. You will see the contents of which appear here. Now it's as easy as highlighting these files and dragging them into the actual root folder of your game. Go onto Steam and go onto General. Go into then Installed Files, and if you click on Files, it will then show you the installation folder just here. The section we are looking for is the bin. We then go into the Win64 Master Steam, and then we then find the folder just here. Now we are just simply dragging and dropping the contents into here, and then we then run the real configuration file by double clicking the batch file, and once we have done that, we can then head over to the game. We have to launch the game in flat screen mode once if you've never played the game before you can run this process, and then it will then appear in VR. So I'm not going to go too much into detail of how the overlay works. There are plenty of resources online that will show you this, but just for this quick and simple setup guide, when you launch in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, you'll be presented by the image in your VR headset on the Pimax Super. Pimax Player has to be launched and running, and then once we are launched into the game. As you can see here, that we've got this overlay here. Now the actual render resolution I have set in order to get a really nice image is presently at 2960 by 3088, but you can adjust that by simply adjusting the slider just here, and as you can see, it will adjust the game resolution accordingly. Now you can see we're hitting a solid 90 FPS utilizing this, and as mentioned, I've had it previously set to around 22, which gives you a really nice image, and it does provide a really nice overall look to the game. But once again, this will depend on your system specifications as to how well you can personally get the game running utilizing the settings here. So as already mentioned, the in-game graphical settings are actually very easy to apply. If we move down to settings and then we go to the actual graphics settings, you can see here that Luke Ross has also changed the actual resolution aspect within the game to allow us to adjust for the resolution of our VR headset accordingly. Now if we then move up the resolution, obviously the image quality will remain higher. However, if obviously I find the sweet spot for this particular title is the 2976 by 2432. We keep it on a windowed mode, and then the overall image quality will be a custom high image quality, which we'll show you in a moment. Sure, FPS will be irrelevant because it will show you the actual desktop based FPS. The actual Luke Ross overlay will actually show you the true game frames per second. We need VSync to be off, and we need the frame rate limit to be set to 240 FPS, as you can see there. And then if we move on to the advanced graphics settings and select this, you can see that the object quality is on experimental. SMAA is 1 times. I would recommend also that if you're having problems with the experimental, move on to ultra. But I have everything set to ultra settings, as you can see here, and I'm running an RTX 5090. And once again, as mentioned, all the specifications, the PC specifications, in-game settings, Pimax Play settings can all be found within a clickable link in the video description. So we'll be having a focus on some alternative content in future videos, so let me know what Luke Ross titles you'd like to see. Thank you as always for watching. There are some links here to some other videos which you may find of interest, and let me know in the comments how the real modification works for you. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.